Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about acrylic templates and how they are more helpful and awesome, and also the ones that I will have on my website. This isn't just a plug for my stuff though, so I want to talk about acrylic templates. The reason that they are so handy to have is because they're acrylic, you can just lay them on your pattern and cut around them with a rotary cutter, which I don't have next to me. So it kind of saves you a lot of time in having your pattern pieces made this way. If you are just laminating your paper, which is a great option if you're only going to make one or two of the pattern, eventually either the laminating lifts because you've got to cut so close to the pattern edge, or you find it moves while you're sewing. So I actually used to make my own patterns out of MDF and a jigsaw, which was working for me pretty well. But now that I have started designing some patterns, I thought it wise to get them also made out of acrylic. So I have a Harlot. So my bag, the Harlot, now comes in acrylic templates. I'll be doing them as a pre-order so that I can let my manufacturer know in bulk, and then they'll just directly ship them to you. But the way I've designed them is it comes with, oh, hold on, there we go, everything that you need to cut out of it on the template. These little square holes actually have a hole drilled through them so that they are big enough to get a pen into, so that you can mark that on your patterns. I don't know, I really like acrylic templates. The MDF was working well, however, it did have some drawbacks. Because hubby was cutting them with a jigsaw or a bandsaw, they weren't 100% perfect, so there's like random bits where he's like dug in too deep. And I also find that it's, because it's MDF, it's basically chalk dust glued together. So I find that especially at corners, it started to go soft so that they're not crisp and pointy anymore. So I do still have them. I haven't thrown out all of my MDF patterns, but now that I've got a few patterns of my own, I am definitely getting them in acrylic. So this one is my whippersnapper. I have just got this in the mail. I purchased it just to see what they were going to be like, and they've sent me an option. So because of the size, it is quite ginormous. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so you don't see the reflection of me looking at you looking at me. So these are just called card holders. You can get them from $2 shops. I think Spotlight also sells them in the scrapbooking section. But basically, they just unclip and then you can clip them to stuff. So the way I hang mine, I will show you soon how I hang all my patterns. But they're just super handy like that. So this is the full-size piece of the whippersnapper, which as you can see is quite huge. I personally don't like to do things on the fold. I'm not very good at it. I know that about myself, so I try not to do things on the fold. So when patterns I print out and laminate, what I'll do is I'll actually print two of anything on the fold and join it together and then laminate it, because I prefer to just lay it down and trace around it. But to get the whippersnapper in this size is obviously a lot more expensive than if you were to just buy the half piece. So the half piece comes very clearly that it needs to go on the fold, and all my patterns, the Harlot doesn't have it because it was a tester, but all of my patterns will have a hole so that you can hang them, because hanging them up is the best way to not damage them. So that's why I have them. I just thought, you know, if you make a lot of these, so if you're making these to sell, it's going to be wickedly quicker to cut around it than it is to have your paper pattern. But paper patterns are potentially easier to store because you might have all of yours in like an accordion folder or something. These would go, but they're obviously thicker than paper. So yeah, I personally love acrylic templates, but I will now turn the camera off and I'll show you the other way that I do templates. So if I'm testing a pattern, or the first time I'm doing a video, I will print it out and then sticky tape all the pieces together, Like I said, I don't do on the fold, so I will join them together and then laminate one large piece. Now I use A3 size laminating sheets, but sometimes that's still not big enough. And if it needs to be any bigger than that, I will actually use my iron to set the laminate over the paper. I have got a video on that. I actually think I've got 2 videos. I've got one on how to Frankenstein it through a laminator, and I've also got one on how to use your iron to use laminating sheets. I quite often get questions about what thickness do I use? And the official answer is I didn't know that they had different thicknesses of laminate, so I just buy whatever cheap pack I can find. So usually from Kmart. I got mine from Aldi when they were doing them. So you can also get them from any kind of store. Like Officeworks would sell them as well. Alright, so let's go over and let's see all of my patterns and its storage. This is the top shelf of my storage. I've got a few different things going on up here. So firstly, let's take a look at these. So this is just a garment rack, like a cheap one on wheels. And then these are actually shower curtain rings, so that they are always like openable, I guess. I don't know what the word is. But you can open them and then click them shut. So that way I can just remove it and place it wherever I want. Whereas these here are curtain rings, so you pull the end off and then slide them all on. The reason I bought the shower curtains is because I've got so many patterns going on here. So like this one's got 2 hanging off it. Most of them have 2 or 3 on each shower curtain rack hook, so I had to up my game and get some more. So the reason I do it this way, I've tried lots of different ways on my pattern storage, and this is what I've found to be best, because when I am finished with a pattern, I can just click open my card ring, hook it straight on, and it's done. It's like a 2-second storage. I can flick through them easily so that I can see everything. So there's pouchels. I still need to get templates for pouchels, but it's just easy to flick, easy to do. So this is why I've tried a bunch of different storage ideas, and this one works out best for me. So this top rack is all clutches and wallets patterns that I have, which I know there's a lot. And then underneath, which I'll see if I can angle down, underneath, these are all the handbags. So the bigger ones are on the bottom because they've got more gap between here and the floor. And they all kind of sit and touch the floor. So I put the big ones at the bottom, and then I've got these littler ones at the top. So here is a pattern that I've made out of MDF. So it's actually a little bit thicker, or about the same thickness as the acrylic templates, and it does do pretty well. It just has a few issues here. So like right here, around here, I had to drill this with a drill bit. So you can see that it's gone a bit kind of rough and fluffy. That eventually drops off onto my projects, which is annoying. I've got to keep brushing it away. But as a quick solution to, I was making heaps of these. This is a bum bag pattern. I've done a video for this. It was a free pattern. So hubby cut this out, and I think he did a really good job with a jigsaw. But if we look closely, see how it's just, it's not 100%. Whereas acrylic templates are laser cut. So the measurements that they are is exactly what you're going to get with them. But this is a great solution if you either can't afford acrylic templates or you can't get hold of them where you live. So I won't be throwing this out. I will still use this. I also don't make a lot of these anymore. I replace my bum bags basically with my whippersnappers. And then with the curtain rings, I actually just stick it through the small loop here. And then the big hoop gets another pattern so that I can hold 2 patterns but still easily access them. If I was to hook this one into that one and then needed, this is the glamour clutch, I'd have more fiddling to do, and I don't want that. This is a great example. On this one, because I was running out, I've actually got another pattern here and another pattern here. But they are interchangeable. So if you don't have space for something like this, you might consider getting like a small thin chain and hanging it from the roof near a wall, and then you could just hook all of these through the different chain loops. So this here is an acrylic template, but this is one that was cut out with a jigsaw. So you can buy acrylic from Bunnings and try and make your own, but again, we have that same problem of it's not 100%. So there are options. Anyway, so that's just a quick little what I've got going on. For my whippersnapper pattern, I will be doing a pre-order in the new year. I figure there's probably no point between now and Christmas because you won't get it in time. And I doubt people are going to buy presents they can't receive. So I will do the whippersnapper. You'll get the 2 options. So the bigger one's going to cost more because it's more acrylic and you need to go up a size in post bags. And all of them, I only put 1 option, so everything gets express shipped. I'm not doing standard and express. We're just doing express. Because by the time the pre-order's finished, you just want it, which I understand. So you'll be able to order either the half piece or the full piece on those. Harlot is currently up for a pre-order, which finishes on next Sunday, I believe. What's the date today? Yeah, it finishes next Sunday. So if you wanted to pre-order those, you definitely can. And yeah, I hope that was somewhat helpful to you in explaining the difference between all of them and the benefits. Until next time, oh my god, I can't speak. Until next time, guys, I'll see you. I'm going away for like the long weekend, so there won't be any videos until mid to late next week. So happy weekend, everyone. Bye.